Everything's okay and it's all forgotten. No, it's not forgotten. What he did was unforgivable. And if you were ever going to forgive...
I don't really like that, because at the end of the day, as much as, like, I've got nothing against...
It started with a few careless words, but it ignited a storm that rocked British boxing. Nigel Benn thought he was defending his son, but his comments about Chris Eubank Sr. crossed the line. What followed was nothing short of poetic justice. Chris Eubank Jr. didn't just respond. He dismantled...
Acceptable. That is... it's egregious. It's disgusting. Someone has to pay for that. Someone has to answer.
Nigel Benn's arrogance piece by piece, turning words into weapons and leaving the Benn family exposed for all to see. The tension has always been personal, but this time, Eubank Jr. took it to another level. With composure sharper than his jab, he humiliated the Benn camp, stripping away their fake confidence and exposing the bitterness that's been festering for years.
I'm telling my truth. I'm exposing what these people want to keep hidden in the dark. And I will continue to do so.
One clip was all it took. Fans flooded the internet, replaying Eubank's verbal takedown like a highlight reel. Everyone remembered when Conor Benn called Chris Eubank Sr. delusional and passed it. That was the spark that lit this generational fire. The disrespect wasn't just casual. It was targeted, cruel.
You couldn't look on it.
Silly bollocks, threaten my dad again, watch what happens to you.
Yeah,
I'm not threatening him, I'm just slapping him.
No, do you hear what I said? Do you hear what I said?
There's no
Do you hear what I said? Well, he did get his arms around your neck.
Con, leave it, I've got it, man, I can handle this, mate.
And unnecessary. But Eubank Jr. wasn't having any of it. His response hit like a counterpunch to the jaw, pure precision and purpose. He exposed not only Conor's insecurities, but also the jealousy that's been eating away at the Benn camp for years. Fans didn't hold back either. Comments.
Yeah, if you think bad things, next say, oh, I'm sorry. Listen, you must think before think what after будет well.
Poured in. Conor's mouth runs faster than his hands, one fan wrote, while another added, Junior's defending family honor like a true warrior. Others mocked Nigel Benn's wild prediction that his son would stop Eubank Jr. in 4 rounds. 4 rounds? Try 4 minutes, someone joked. The delusion in the Benn...
Senior, I don't think he thinks before he talks sometimes. And, maybe he misread the situation thinking I was going to sit there and accept the way he was speaking about my dad. So I wasn't going to ever sit down and accept that or tolerate that.
Benn camp had reached a new level, and Eubank Jr. was ready to crush it. Even Alexander Usyk couldn't stay silent after hearing Conor Benn's vile remarks about Eubank Sr. When a world champion of Usyk's caliber tells you to watch your mouth.
Honestly, this guy has zero respect for anything. And I hope people can see through it. Some will, some won't. But if you can't see them, that's a lot of what happened up there was just wrong. So listen, we go to work and we're in to win the fight. It's going to be different.
It's not advice. It's a warning. Fans applauded Usyk's dignity, calling him a real champion who understands respect. One comment captured the moment perfectly. Imagine Usyk schooling you in manners. That's a new low.
What to do. I could get hurt in spars with guys, but after I sparred you once, I know how to deal with you for the rest of my life. And with Conor, it's no different. I know his weaknesses, I know his strengths, I know his capabilities, his limits.
The Benn camp's image began to crumble fast. Instead of stepping back, Conor doubled down. His next interview only made things worse. He called Chris Eubank Sr. a man who doesn't think before he talks. And that single statement turned public opinion even further.
A little bit easier this time. For the simple fact he already got his number. It's hard to get away from when somebody already done beat your ass. That's hard, because it's already
against him. To attack a pioneer, a British boxing legend, for clout, that reeked of insecurity and desperation. Eubank Jr. didn't need to defend his father's honor with noise. His composure said it all. The Eubank legacy already silenced the nonsense.
Behavior. It's my opinion. Bad behavior, yeah.
Even Eddie Hearn, who's promoted Conor for years, couldn't defend his fighter's behavior. When Hearn says you've crossed a line, you know it's serious. He called Conor's attitude arrogant and disappointing, a comment that cut deep across the Benn camp. Meanwhile, Eubank Jr. remains calm, measured, and laser-focused. That's the difference between a man chasing legacy and a man chasing headlines. Eubank speaks like a surgeon dissecting an opponent, precise, controlled, and brutally intelligent.
Just wrong, but I think this fight's just gone to another toll.
It's absolutely grabbed the public interest now to another level, hasn't it?
This is quite simply the biggest fight this country's ever seen.
It's going to be huge.
He's already sparred Conor and claimed he figured him out in one session. That's not bravado, it's experience talking. Conor may fight with emotion, but Eubank fights with calculation. Body language never lies. While Benn talks tough, Eubank's calmness speaks volumes. He's not rattled, he's ready. Bomac, his trainer, echoed that same confidence. Once a man's been beaten, it stays in his head, he said. And he's right. The mental scar from the first loss doesn't fade easily. Conor's bravado might hide it, but deep down, he knows Eubank cracked his
fight. And I think Eubank Jr., if he gets this win, and there's a new lease of life maybe under Bomac, 2026, maybe finally he could become a world champion. But he's got to get past Conor Benn first, and Conor Benn, not just hungry for revenge, he believes he can win this because of what happened first time round, because he went 12 rounds at middleweight, up in class, after a long layoff. Some people fancy Benn's
code. Confidence doesn't erase memory. It only masks fear. And when Usyk, a world champion known for humility, calls out your bad behavior, it's not just embarrassing, it's humiliating. Usyk's quiet rebuke was like a public masterclass in class and respect. Bad behavior is my opinion. Bad behavior, Usyk said calmly. Those simple words echoed louder than any insult Conor ever threw. Fans praised Usyk's composure. That's how you deal with arrogance, with dignity. Tony Bellew also weighed in.
It's because he couldn't box anymore, because his legs weren't working. He was throwing a lot of shots, but nothing had any real power or snap because he didn't have it in him. And so he couldn't force his size advantage on Benn.
Saying what everyone was thinking, this isn't just a rivalry anymore. It's a generational war. The sons of two British icons clashing again, carrying decades of history, pride, and unresolved emotion. The tension's at boiling point, Bellew said. This is more than boxing. It's legacy on the line. Conor's words lit the fuse, and now the nation can't look away. For Eubank Jr., this fight isn't about revenge. It's about restoration. He's defending not just his pride, but the Eubank name itself, which Conor tried to stain. Bellew's right. This is Britain's biggest domestic fight in years. The emotion, the pressure, the energy, everything feels like history unfolding. Sky Sports' Adam Smith gave the rivalry an
Like I say, the fight wasn't a letdown because it was a good fight, but as an event, you won't get a better event than that, and they'll have to go some actually to surpass that, or even equal that. Let's just hope they get the same turnout in terms of the numbers, people going through the live gate and watching that fight, because it was a great event. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. You won't get world title fights that actually are a better
even deeper dimension. He explained how this fight could redefine Eubank Jr.'s career entirely. A win here, Smith said, and Eubank rewrites his story. Under Brian Bomac McIntyre's guidance, Eubank has developed structure, patience, and sharp precision. He's matured beyond his old habits. For Conor Benn, though, this is a desperate scramble for validation. His mouth has written checks his fists might not cash. Smith admitted that some fans fancy Benn to win. But as he reminded everyone, belief alone doesn't win fights. Eubank Jr. thrives when the pressure's highest, while Conor still fights to prove something.
Do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left from Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap and get an outcome in his second fight?
Without a doubt.
You do?
He couldn't have done any more. If he could have knocked out Conor in that fight, he would have done. He just couldn't get rid of him. And Conor stuck it. So regardless of him being surprised that Conor stuck it out a lot more.
Eubank fights for legacy, and that's a different kind of hunger. Adam Booth tried to paint Conor Benn as tough, but his analysis accidentally exposed a weakness. His legs weren't working, Booth said about Benn's past performance, a line that told the real story. Conor has heart, yes, but heart doesn't save you when technique and control collapse under pressure. Eubank knows exactly how to exploit that. When fatigue sets in, it's discipline that wins, and discipline is Eubank's territory. Booth's claim that Conor will be better this time changes nothing. Eubank's composure, ring IQ, and tactical control will dismantle him again. Conor can throw wide.
Honestly, I just think the last performance of Chris, I thought you've got nothing left. You've got nothing. There's no more improvement on what I'm seeing there. And I know there was the weight issue and all the build-up to it. I thought there's no more improvement there.
Does that mean you think do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left from Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap and get an outcome in his second fight?
Wild emotional shots, but Eubank will see them coming a mile away. This fight isn't about courage anymore. It's about class. Duke McKenzie summed it up best. This isn't just another boxing match. It's theater. Every press conference, every stare down, every word exchanged between these two families feels like a live continuation of a 30-year saga. The first fight captivated the nation. The rematch feels like destiny calling. Conor's arrogance, his reckless disrespect, has only made this spectacle bigger. Meanwhile, Eubank Jr. has turned the chaos into motivation. He's grown under fire, mentally sharper, physically stronger, and spiritually calmer. Mackenzie's right. Events like this define generations. It's not just about punch.
And I don't think at this stage Eubank can do a lot more else. He'll try and do what he did, on fight night. It's whether he can go to the well again. I don't think so. If the fight becomes as hard and if it has the pace and ferocity of a first fight, I'd be very surprised and I'd be amazed if Eubank can do
punches. It's about pride, legacy, and redemption. When the first bell rings, the weight of 30 years of bad blood will explode inside those ropes. Johnny Nelson's take was measured, but it missed the truth. He claimed Conor could bridge the gap this time, but he ignored the biggest difference: evolution. The Eubank who fought before wasn't at his best. The drastic weight cut, the outside noise, and chaotic camp all took their toll. But now, under Bomac, Eubank is leaner, sharper, and tactically superior. Nelson's suggestion that Conor can catch up sounds like wishful thinking. You can't bridge a gap built on superior fundamentals. Eubank's jab, distance control, and timing are elite-level tools Conor simply doesn't possess. In boxing, emotion fades. Technique endures. Right now,
else, but they're just not the same size. Rehydration clauses should not be a thing in boxing. I know IBF have a £10 morning after ruling, but it's just not safe. The term rehydration clauses don't sound safe. Rehydration clause, just don't agree with it. Eubank's been up at super middleweight, and now they're going to drag him down to near light middleweight. I don't like it.
Now, Eubank Jr. is operating on a higher mental and physical frequency than ever before. Critics love to talk about the old Eubank, but this new version is a different beast. Colder, calmer, and far more dangerous. He doesn't chase knockouts recklessly anymore. He dissects his opponents with discipline. Conor's youth gives him energy, but Eubank's intelligence gives him power. Confidence without structure collapses under pressure, and Eubank knows exactly how to apply it. Dave Coldwell expressed doubt about whether Eubank can go to the well again. But that's exactly what Eubank has built his career on, thriving under pressure. Every time the world counts him out, he rises higher. His conditioning is elite, his mindset unshakable, and his motivation personal. This fight is not business. It's personal war. Conor's team keeps talking about hunger and youth, but Eubank's drive runs deeper. He's been through adversity, lived in the fire, and come out stronger. While Conor fights with emotion, Eubank fights with discipline. Coldwell's doubts only fuel his fire. Every punch he throws will carry the weight of years of disrespect, criticism, and family honor. Dave Allen added another layer: the rehydration clause. In boxing, that's a silent weapon, designed to weaken a man before the fight even begins. But Eubank's already survived that trap once. He knows how to prepare, how to adapt, and how to turn pain into focus. The Benn team may think this will give them an edge, but it might backfire spectacularly. Because you can weaken a man's body, but not his will. Eubank's mental fortitude is forged from years of adversity. He's fought through heavier weights, tighter cuts, and deeper trenches. The rehydration clause might slow him down, but it won't stop him. Desperation doesn't win fights. Focus does. This isn't about belts or rankings anymore. This is about names carved into the stone of British boxing history. Eubank fights for heritage, for family, for honor. Conor fights for redemption, for ego, for noise. One is controlled, the other chaotic. Every interview, every stare down, every jab thrown in the build-up has led to this, the final chapter of a decades-long rivalry. When the lights dim and the bell rings, the ghosts of the past will be in that ring too. Fathers, pride, legacies intertwined. If Chris Eubank Jr. wins, he cements the Eubank dynasty forever. He silences the critics and restores the respect his father earned decades ago. But if Conor Benn somehow pulls it off, he rewrites history and restores his family's pride. Either way, this isn't just boxing. It's destiny on collision course. So the question now is simple. Whose legacy are you backing under those bright lights? Is Chris Eubank Jr. writing the next chapter of greatness? Or will Conor Benn shock the world and steal the story? Drop your thoughts below.